Good morning, everybody. I wanted to give you a short tutorial on how to create a blog for those who are struggling or those who might want to teach somebody else a simple way using Google's Blogger. By the way, I'm reachable this weekend. If you need support, I'm at my farm, but my cell phone almost always rings there. But better yet, just send me a text or an email and I'll set up a schedule invite with a Zoom link, and we can even do some screen sharing that way. So I'm going to begin by turning my video off and then sharing my screen. So first things first, turning my video off, then sharing my screen. I'll pick a screen that is just a simple Google Chrome window. I'll open a new tab and then choose Blogger or Blogspot. They're interrelated, as you probably know, and both owned by Google, which makes the interface with so many other Google Drive tools so functional. When you open Blogger, you'll see a list of all your blogs over here, or at least you'll see the most recent blog you worked on. If you click on this arrow, then you'll see all of those blogs. And then you can click on New Blog. And I'm going to give a title for my watershed group, South Branch Science Consortium. Now, I can catch this error right now, but even if you didn't catch an error, you can go back and fix things like the title and even the URL that you use. So then I give it a URL, a Uniform Resource Locator, or what we all call a web address, and just use South Branch Science. It will let you use hyphens. I'll leave it up to you to figure out what other special characters might be usable, but otherwise letters and numbers generally always work. And then I'll click Save. And it will take me to a screen for setting things up. The first thing that I'll probably do is select a theme. Now, I'm going to select a very simple one. Contempo is actually pretty simple. It's based on the theme that's called Simple. I'm going to scroll down to that. The one reason I want to mention themes here is that some themes, in making things nice and visually attractive, may limit some of the functionality of your blog, but you can always change the theme pretty much at any time. So I'll just choose a simple blog like this. I'll click Apply. And I'll say, got it. Then I think I can go to create my first post. And let's see, one thing I'll do in my first post is probably create just a welcome post. And welcome to the South Branch Science Consortium. And I'll probably repeat that sentence here, so I'll just do that. And then I'll come back and edit this later, so I'll just type edit later. And then I can either save it, I could even publish it. I'm just going to publish it now, even though it's obviously not ready. And maybe I had to click this, and then I confirm that. It takes me back to my list of posts, and I can come down to the bottom and view that blog. And that's what it shows already. All of this stuff you see over here in the right-hand column can be removed, at least most of it. I think this report abuse might be a requirement that Blogger has. One thing I really like about Blogger is it defaults to this, where it gives these links for people to email it to somebody else, blog it on your own blog. In other words, if you saw something on my blog or vice versa, we could share someone else's post, tweet it, share it on Facebook, or share it on Pinterest. So there's my one and only blog post so far. Let's do a real one now. I will go back to create a new post. And I think it was in one of the videos I created for you, introducing you to the syllabus or course outline, where I mentioned water shoes. And I thought about this. Maybe I'll say, I'm not happy with any water shoe I've found. I tend to burn them out pretty quickly, or they disintegrate or come apart, and I end up repairing them with things like shoe goo or other waterproof adhesives. But I have found a Keen shoe that seems to outperform others. Now, I'm going to tell you as I show you this process that I actually don't know how much these shoes cost retail, but I get a pro deal with Keen and many other outdoor adventure sports kinds of things, because I am a whitewater kayaking instructor as well as a scuba instructor, and then also still a member of the National Geological Society, and all of those create these opportunities for pro deals for some things. So what I'll come over here and do is go look for these. Probably should have emptied my browser history before doing a video. Keen, I'm forgetting what these are called. Water shoe. Just see what happens here. Keen Utility, that's probably, oh, how about that? They're on sale for 25% off. And then I'm going to look for this one that I like. Looks like they're only showing me women. So let's do this. Oh, you only get 2 choices for men. Sorry, guys. And neither of these are men's. Are they only showing, why is it showing me that? Okay. Work, men's. I don't necessarily want to do the sale because it's probably limiting what I'm seeing. Okay, well, I could not find the men's Atlanta cooler, Atlanta 2 cooler on the site. So I did a general Google search and found that Amazon still carries it. I don't know what that means. It may mean that Keen isn't advertising it or isn't continuing it, but I really like this. I'm hoping Keen replaces it with something else, because it's the first shoe that has lasted me more than 2 years from Keen. You'll see that the price varies from 70 to, it was like 130. And I don't know what that larger price might refer to, because typically it does reflect size. I usually get a 46 or a 47, but without socks, I would pick a 46. And of course, that's the case here. Here's what's great. It has a steel toe. Now, not everybody needs a steel toe, but if you move rocks around, or you're carrying boat anchors, or you're doing other things in the stream where your feet are vulnerable, consider that. Also, it is an enclosed toe, so I don't have things like sticks jamming in through that top part. I'd say no matter what water shoe you get, consider that. Now, I think Keen promotes something called a Neptune as their water shoe, meaning the stitching and the glue is going to be more waterproof. And that will be fine for most people who are just wandering around looking at things. But I think if you want something really utilitarian, consider this. One thing I also don't know, however, is if there's a women's version and how much that actually matters. You'll see the sizes go down to 7.5. So those of you with a smaller than, I think that translates to 5.5 or something like that for women, might be out of luck. I just got corrected by my wife. What is it? Oh, I went the opposite direction. 7.5 is a 9.5 in women. So you're really out of luck if you are smaller than a 9.5. Okay, so what I can do here is grab this photo by right-clicking, copy image, bring it to my post, and then maybe give myself some space and then paste it. And it shows up here. When I click on it, it tells me I can left align it, right align it. I sometimes like to right align things on these posts. And then I can change its size, and I'm just going to make this extra large. Maybe that's too large. I'll just do it large. And it'd be nice to put a caption here. And they used to allow you to have a caption, and I'm going to give this a try, but I'll just say source Amazon.com. Update, see what happens there. Probably have to click on it as a reader to see that. So this shoe seems no longer available directly through Keen, but I found it here on Amazon. And I might add a lot more detail if I didn't have you folks looking over my shoulder metaphorically here. So when you copy an Amazon link, you probably know you go right to where that first question mark is and capture everything else. You can actually skip this whole Keen utility thing and just put that BO7V, whatever it is there. Copy that with Control C. And then I should probably, just to make this a more utilitarian blog post. By the way, I didn't point out that it has pretty good ratings too from others and not just me. And then I will see, I had to go back to my email just to find out what it was when I couldn't find it on Keen. It's called and if I pasted this with Control V or Command V, it pasted in its original font. So I'm going to hit Control Z. And now I'm going to paste it with Control Shift V. And you see it fits in nicely. Now, I may still want to bold it. And I'll do that here. Hopefully it doesn't put it on yet another line. No problem. Okay. And then I might change that title to Utilitarian Water Shoes. Somewhere in here it says steel toe, but I think on mine, on the one side or the other, it actually says utility. So I honestly don't know what is evolving there at Keen. And one thing I know by having a pro deal at Keen is things do change often. So hopefully you'll find something similar. Now I right aligned this. Watch what happens if I drag it up here. It automatically shifts the text, and then it makes for a shorter blog post, which I like. If this blog was really long, and maybe let's say I incorporated a whole bunch of descriptive text that was available to me on the Amazon site. Oh, it looks like some of these others still exist, but this is really the most open of these shoes. Here we go. I could grab all of this text with Control C, come up to my post, paste it here, and it makes for this really long post, especially if I want to put it in the same font. So I'm going to hit Control Shift V, and I would discover that this takes up a whole lot of space on my blog. You'll see that it just goes on and on and on, and people really have to scroll to see the whole thing or even know that there's another blog post beneath it. So one thing I can come back and do in my post is interrupt this with a break. And you see that here when I highlight it says insert jump break. And I could put this between two paragraphs. So you see, here's a natural paragraph break that would work, a sentence break. But what I have found to encourage people to read these is to actually interrupt a sentence with that break. And now when you preview it, this is what you'll see. I'm going to publish it and see if it works then. I'm actually going to remove that later as a real post. Now I can go to view my blog. And indeed, it interrupts it there with the word and it says read more. And then if I click on read more, you would see the entirety of that text. Now, because I'm the owner of this blog, I actually see this little pencil when I look at my own blog. From here, I can actually go in and edit my post without having to go back through Blogger to do it. And I'm going to simply remove all of these. Update it. And now when I go to my blog, simply by closing that tab since I've updated it, this always feels a little tricky. You might want to click it again just to be sure. I can go back here, view my blog, and you'll see it has only what I intended to see. But now I'm discovering, hey, my link isn't live. So I'm going to go back and edit it one more time. And I'm going to do this. And I will, you could type Control K, or you can come up here and click on this and it automatically does it for you, but you can go in and edit it. If you don't like having that link there, you can remove the link. So now I'll update it once more. I'll go back here and I'll view the blog, and now it's behaving like I want it to behave. So there are a couple of other things I want to show you. I can go up here to design when I'm looking at my own blog. Then I can go to layout, and you can actually rearrange some things here. So right now, if you look at my blog, let me go back there and keep this open. It just says South Branch Science Consortium up across the top. I could insert an image there. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to do this, but I'm probably going to create a separate video just because it can be a little complex. I'll go to layout. And instead of the header, I can click on edit and I can replace that title with an image. So I can upload an image from the computer. I can input an image URL. It does some strange things here with sizing. So I'm going to go to upload from a computer, choose file. I'll go to my Dropbox and let's see, where's Dropbox? I work on 6 different computers any given week, so I rely on things like Dropbox and Google Drive in different ways. Come down here to my South Branch Science Consortium folder, way down here, double click on it, and I know that I have some banners and things like River Panorama October. That's actually timely for this course. And then I'll click on open it, and it will give me a brief preview here. I'm using West Virginia Wi-Fi and a Mac. I just added 8 gigabytes of memory to it last night. I was hoping this would be a little faster, but I think the delay is because I use that version of Dropbox where you get certain things by demand. So this is something I created already, South Branch Science, Woodhouse Research at www.southbranchpotomac.org, which I need to remove because I don't like the way that's currently working. Click on save, and it may or may not show the image here, but what you'll see is this is not reliable. You can actually just do a Google search on image size for blog post header, and it will tell you it's ideally something like 900 by 500. But I can always view my blog, reload it here or click F5. And you see that's actually not so bad. So now I can go back to this layout, click on edit, and I thought there was a way to use an image instead of the title. And here it is. I just didn't scroll down. I could click on shrink to fit if I use something very large. That's probably when things do get unwieldy. I click on save, and now when I go reload this, it'll probably take away the white text. And there I have it. This is actually the riverfront of my farm on the South Branch of the Potomac. So that's a nice little image. And there I've created a blog in what I hope is still under 15 minutes once I edit out all my searching. Thanks for listening.